Do you hear the clock ticking? Well, I was going to take it down, but I thought, no, I'll just leave it there. I'm getting kind of used to listening to it. And you can listen to it too. You know, time does not stand still. It's been one of those gray days today. I'm wearing a top that I had laying at the foot of my bed. Looked like a nightgown, but it's the most comfortable thing I've got, and I just love to wear it. So, not going anyplace special anyway, and you folks are used to seeing me in my everyday wear and my hair needing a really good touch-up. I'm back in the kitchen, you know. You like me when I'm in the kitchen. I get a lot of responses from you, and it's really nice, but you know, kitchen's not my place. I'm not comfortable in the kitchen. But today, I just happen to be extra hungry. You know how you have those urges for a certain thing? Well, that's the way it is today. In fact, I think what I'm going to show you, I may have done before. If I have, it was a long time ago. You've forgotten it, I've forgotten it, so we'll just do it again. This is my roasted vegetables. I love my roasted vegetables. Now, I didn't buy everything I needed for the ingredients. I forgot a couple of things. But I've got enough that, you know, even when you say roasted vegetables, you think of potatoes. Yes, I've got two kinds of potatoes. I've got sweet potatoes, red potatoes, and fingerling potatoes. They're all different colors, but they're still potatoes. I've got cauliflower. I've got carrots. Let me think what else. Basically, that's it. Now, I don't put onions in my roasted vegetables because onions get soft. One of the things I forgot was Brussels sprouts. Some people like them, some people don't. I buy the tiny ones and I cut them in half. And they work just fine that way, but yesterday I forgot them. I should have bought some green onions, but I haven't seen any good green onions in ages, and so much for that onion powder will take its place. So I want to get started because I've got to bake this, you know, and while I'm baking it, I'm going to do something else so we can talk and then the vegetables can get done and I can show them to you. Now, I'm going to start first. I happen to have this little thingamajig here, you know, like your mama and your grandmama used to have the great big enamelware. This I found at Big Lots. Not Big Lots, Goodwill. I get my names all mixed up. And I thought I've never had one of these. I think I'll get that. So I haven't used it either. We're going to use it today. And here's what I'm going to do. I've cut my potatoes already. Got a lot of potatoes here. Let me show you. Here we go. These are the red potatoes on top. I've got the fingerling potatoes. Yep, you can see them. You see what I've got in here. A whole bunch of them. I've got my sweet potatoes. Ordinarily, I peel and chop a sweet potato. This one doesn't look good. Let's get the knife and cut it off. Got a little black space on it. Get that off. Okay. I usually peel and cut my own sweet potato. But this time I saw these in frozen package in the freezer section at Kroger, and I thought, I think I'll try them. So we're going to see what happened when we use these potatoes. The third thing I'm going to show you is cauliflower. I'm not big on cauliflower. I like it in certain salads, but I never cook cauliflower. But I found that when I put it in with my roasted vegetables, it is so good and so tasty. Trying to get something off the screen there. Okay. It's so good. And I try to put it in long slices. It comes apart. But you can see what I'm doing. See, this gives you a nice big slice. And I like that. So I get one big slice, and then I cut this apart, and I've got several good pieces of cauliflower. I'm just going to drop those in with those potatoes, because they're going to be together anyway. I'm going to do another one. Let's see how we do this one. Okay, let's cut down through the middle. And one more. Here we've got 4 nice slices. And this is just the crumbs. I've got a whole bowl full of cauliflower. Goes right in there. All right. I may have to do this in 2 batches. But here's what I'm going to do. You just watch. Let me find my what do I do with my oil? Okay, here's oil. I'm gonna wet this bag down with the oil. Woo! This is going to go inside the bag. You've seen this done before. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, see all these spices over in the corner? Well, you can't see them for this bowl. All these spices, rather than picking them up one at a time, the pepper, the onion powder, the garlic, what I decided to do was, I'm going to take one of my extra little spice bottles, and I was just going to put a mixture. You see what I've got here? There's about 6 different spices in there. When I do that, I don't have to put the vegetables in the pan and sprinkle each spice one at a time. What I do is get my bag here. I'm going to sprinkle. Now I'm going to do this. We're going to see what happens. Okay. We're getting those spices mixed with that oil. And we're going to hopefully spread it around throughout the bag. Oh yeah, you can see it running through the bag. See? Did it all inside the bag. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start dropping my vegetables down in here. We may have to do them 2 or 3 times. My red potatoes, my fingerlings. There's a lot here. This will last me all week long. But the nice thing is, you can put them in the microwave and they heat up just fine. They're as good as if you just popped them right out of the oven. Come on, a few more. There. Now, I'm going to zip this back up, and I'm going to toss this around. I'm going to get these vegetables all covered with oil and spices. In fact, what I'm also going to do is sprinkle a few of them along the bottom of my pan. I want to make sure everything's covered. So my pan got the oil in it. It's got the spices on the bottom. And we're going to throw these in. Dump these right into this pan. All right. I may want to put just a little bit more oil in here. A few more spices. Roll it around again, get it all over the bag. See, this is fun. Okay. Now this pan, I hope, is going to hold all of these. Get these over here where I don't forget them. I'm going to add more of these potatoes. I've got enough here to last all week. And of course, what I do is when I go to the antique shop, I take a big tub of these to jam. She can have them for supper a couple of nights. I don't know if she likes them as well as I do or not, but it's another meal that you don't have to prepare. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt in here too. All right, let's see what we get. More vegetables covered in oil and spicy. These are so good that I'm afraid I've got more in the pan than I need, and I may just leave some of them out. I'll put a few more in. Got my cauliflower in there. Now I'm going to let you see what it looked like. Haven't put my sweet potatoes in yet. See this? Here's my. Got all the spices on it, the easy way. All right, I'm going to put some of these in this bowl right here so I can use them with a second batch. These are the sweet potatoes, they're going on top. I love the sweet potatoes in this. They just make the whole dish. It is kind of easy. There, again, there it is with sweet potatoes on top. One more thing. You see my carrots, a little pan of carrots. I buy those in the packet that are about as big around as your thumb. And all you have to do is cut them in half. And the reason I have these in the pan is because the carrots don't cook as fast as the other vegetable. They'll still taste a little bit raw. So I put them on the stove in water and I let them boil about 5 minutes. That gets them started cooking, and that way they'll even out and be cooked like the rest of the vegetables. So I just scatter these carrots around. I'm going to put a few in this dish. And we've just about got it here. Let's see. I'm going to take one more. One more dash of spices over the top. Because the sweet potatoes and the carrots didn't get any of those spices. A little sprinkling of salt. That got it. And I think there's enough pepper. That take care of the pepper. A little sprinkling more of oil. Yeah, that does the job. The oven is set at about 425. This goes in the oven like it is now. One more look. And they're ready to start baking. Now this takes about 25 or 30 minutes. You may not last that long talking to me. I'm going to add these right to this bag. You can see what I'm doing. All I have to do with these is just put them in the refrigerator. I probably could freeze them, but I never have, so I won't do it this time either. Okay. Now, all of that is ready in the oven. Now when they finish, I'm going to go ahead and make a salad. Let's see what I do with the lid here. Here we go. It's got a little bit left in it. I'm going to make a salad. Let me get my stuff out. That'll take up some time, and I don't know if I can come up with a decent story or not. I've been watching my iPad today. Oh, by the way, my table light went out. Well, I can't see things good that I'm working with in front of my iPad without a good light on it. So I decided I'll check with Amazon and see what they got. So I started looking at the table plots. This is tight. What I'm opening here is baby spring mix. I'm sure you're familiar with that salad mixture. So anyway, 2 days ago, I said, well, let's see what, I've waited long enough. I need a good light. So I checked. They had a lot of them. It's hard to pick. You just go from cheap to expensive and you find the price is right for you. So I ordered one. That was 2 days ago. It came today. And I like it. And the nice thing about it was, you know what it's like when you have to read instructions to put something together. If it's more than a half a paragraph long, I'm not going to read them. I just don't like fooling with instruction. I just figure it out for myself. If I can't figure it out, I just toss it back in the closet. Well, I opened this up and it had a booklet. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to follow all those instructions. I didn't even take the little instruction booklet out of the plastic bag. I just laid it over on the table. And I started taking things apart out of this box and that bag and this package and whatever. I thought, how many parts are there to this thing? I hope I'll be able to get it put together before the day is over. Well, mind you, those things went together, snap, 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 snap. I had my table light put together, set up on the table, hovering over my iPad, just like that. Didn't even have to read the instructions. That was the nice thing. So I'm set up now. I can, with my glasses on, I can see what I'm doing now and then. Sometimes the print on our iPads is so fine and so light. I keep saying, it's the system, it's not my vision. I know I need glasses. Well, I wear glasses for reading, but I know I need to take care of cataracts too. But still, I'm blaming the iPad because I can't read half of what's on there because its print is so fine. That's the next thing coming up. You know, my head's a healing. It is just sometimes I reach up to scratch it. You know, the other day I reached up, that little knot was almost gone. But it was kind of itchy, and I started scratching and got hold of something, and I pulled at it. I pulled out a chunk of hair. Well, I can't do that anymore. I'll have a bald head, and I'll have to buy a new hairpiece. That's just what I need, wearing a hairpiece. I'm not going to do that, so I won't be scratching the head anymore and picking at it. So, I was also, now this is just to kill time while my vegetables roast. Let me get my salad. Got my greens out. I got this out. See, I do things in advance. There's no sense in you watching me put things together, cut them up, peel them, wash them. What I did, I had green pepper, I had purple onion, nice stalk of celery, my carrots. I cut my carrots up in little pieces like this, you know, like how you slice them. I like them like that. I could have grated the carrot, but I didn't. But my green pepper, everything's in here. I'm sticking my fingers in here, but my fingers are clean. And keep in mind, I'm the one going to be eating this stuff anyway. So there we've got green pepper, carrots, celery, purple onion. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, okay. But I've also got some bacon. I fried some bacon and I chopped it up so when I make my salad, I can add the bacon to it. Here are my greens. I'm going to work on them and just drop them right down in this bowl. And one thing I do, I don't like those long stems. You stick that in your mouth and it tickles your tonsils. And I don't like that. So here's my greens. Take off these little stems. I like this purple stuff. I don't know what you call it, but I like it. Oh, look how pretty this leafy stuff is. Here goes my hearing aid squealing to me again. I changed the parts inside, thinking it would help, but it didn't. I'm going to have to go back and get the lady at the clinic to fix it for me. I bought some little old stems the other day for, you got to replace them. I think they're supposed to kind of keep the wax from getting into the hearing aid. And when I bought them, they're a little bitty package about this big. It's got about 10 teeny tiny, look like little tiny toothpicks. And that's what you change that little part in the hearing aid, so it keeps the wax out of your ear. Those and two little rubber tabs that go in the ear, two of them, cost $40. $40, mind you. I think I could have taken regular toothpicks and cleaned that wax out. Kind of bothers me, prices like that. There are too many people who can't afford that kind of thing. I'm one of them. I don't like it. I think we're being ripped off. Don't mind saying it. Oh boy, I'm getting the salad greens in here good. I'm going to have enough salad for a couple of days, but sometimes it's not that good when it's left over, you know what I mean. I like it fresh. So here, this is going to be pretty, though, when it's finished. I'll make enough for a couple of meals here. And these greens are really nice. They're very pretty. I think you can see what I'm working with. These little purple things. I like a good combination. I never did learn much about greens, but if they taste good, it's okay with me. Let's see. Here we are. See how pretty these greens are. Can you see them? And then if I get some of this stuff on top, the carrots and things, don't you just love me crawling around in this bowl with my hand? But like I said, I'm the one gonna be eating them. Anyway, there's my salad. Here's my bacon. And I might even add some pecans or cashews at the last minute. The other thing I can tell you, I may have to redo it, see if I can find it. Here are the carrots. See, this is what I do with my carrots. I'll tell you this first. I buy those fat carrots, and I read somewhere that if you put them in a jar with water, you know how you leave your long carrots in the refrigerator a while and they start turning white and they start getting hairy and you think, oh, I can't use these anymore. Well, these carrots will also turn kind of white and wrinkly looking, but if you put them in a jar of water and keep them in the refrigerator, they'll stay just like you see them here. Now, I leave them for several days. I pour the water off, put fresh water in, and these will last to the very last carrot. Now, here's my leftover dressing. I like blue cheese dressing. And there aren't very many restaurants that make blue cheese dressing to suit me. Now this is what I already had left over. I've had the crumbled blue cheese. I'm trying to remember what I put in it. I put about 2 heaping tablespoons of mayonnaise. Then I add buttermilk, a little buttermilk, well, enough buttermilk to thin it so that it looked like this. You see how that is? See how it is? I'll get a little closer so I can get a better look at, yeah, that's it. Okay, now it doesn't have a lot of blue cheese in it because I added more mayonnaise and buttermilk and I forgot to add the blue cheese, so I will add a little more blue cheese to it. And you want a dash of sugar. You know, that's one of those things that my mother always did. No matter what she was cooking, I'd see her reach over and pinch a dab of sugar and drop it in her stew, her meat dish, no matter what it was. And then the cornbread, always had it in cornbread. So you put a dash or 2 of sugar and a little salt. If you want pepper, you can have pepper. But I also add, what is it I add? I forgot what else it was. Buttermilk, the mayonnaise. Well, there's something else in here. I don't remember what it is. But it makes delicious blue cheese dressing. And that's what I'm going to have for supper tonight. Now I'm going to wait about 5 more minutes and I'm going to kind of flip my vegetables. Folks, this hearing aid is really bothering me and I don't know what to do to keep it from whistling. You got any suggestions, I'll be happy to try them. So, anyway, so far, I'm going to sprinkle a few pieces of bacon on top. Now, my other favorite salad is when I use mandarin oranges, broccoli, celery, and bacon. I like the sweet. And with that, I use poppy seed dressing. I love poppy seed dressing. I go to a little place over in Nonsuch, Kentucky. Now that's kind of a crazy name, isn't it? It's out in the country. Big old schoolhouse there. Old schoolhouse. Been turned into an antique shop. Now I know the 2 ladies who run it, they're wonderful. They also have a dining room in the basement. This is a 2-level school and each booth is separated like room by room, like schoolrooms would be. Lots of nice, top quality antiques. When you walk in the front door, there's a big, long glass counter full of costume jewelry. I'm talking about nice costume jewelry. And I'm always tempted when I start looking at that. Can't help it. These ladies are so nice. Jan and I both have had good relations with them. We always go over, we try to go at least once a year for lunch, special lunch, birthday, anniversary, Christmas, Easter, who knows, whatever, because they close the shop for 3 months and they do their own buying. They go around it. I don't know where they go, but they do come back with a lot of good-looking antiques. I bought a few small things from them. But in their basement is the restaurant called The Glitz. And that's just what it is. It is so glitzy. It's got those clear glass baubles like bunches of grapes, only they're big ones like that. Each grape is that size. And they're hanging all over the ceiling and along the walls. Really, I don't know what feeling it gives. It's the lighting is low. Emily is the one that is in charge of the kitchen. Their menu will offer you 2 choices. It's a combination of the dessert, the luncheon itself. You have sorbets, you have, oh my gosh, things I've never eaten before. They're always special. If you're in this area and you want something special and you want to treat someone to a really nice lunch, that's where you go. You go to Nonesuch, to Irish Acres. That's what it's called, Irish Acres. But you have to make reservations. And I hope Emily and Jane appreciate the fact that I am advertising for them, but it's worth it. They have sold some of my artwork for me. Some of my rhinestone shadow boxes they sold. And they went for a good price too. So it's not your cheap run-of-the-mill luncheon that you're going to go to. You'll pay for it, but you're totally satisfied when you finish. And they also have a cookbook. I have their cookbook, and one of the things that I copied from their cookbook, and I told them that I was going to, and I told them that I was going to put it on YouTube, was I think it's called Harvest Bisque or Harvest Soup. It's a wonderful, smooth soup, and it's in my cookbook. So I wanted them to know that I had used their recipe, and they were more than delighted to let me copy that. So I'm going to check my vegetable. Let's see if I can get it out without burning myself. You can just wait right there. I'm putting it on top of the stove. And I'm going to flip it. Oh, here we go. Here's my flipper. Turn this around a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to do this so that the oil is evenly distributed through the vegetables. I really wish I had the Brussels sprouts in this because they give it a little green color. And if you don't like Brussels sprout, you'll like them in this. See, I'm the one that's guaranteed to be the picky eater. But now, there we go. I'm going to pull this right over here and let you get a better look. Take a look at those vegetables. Don't they look good? Yeah, sweet potatoes, carrots, red potatoes, fingerling potatoes. What else did I say? That it? Yeah, that's about got it. And I used the onion salt rather than cutting up onions. You can put onions in it if you want to, but I just don't care for the softness of the onion. They don't get nice and crisp. So, I'm going to have to put it back in the oven. And it's going to take probably another 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know if you can put up with me another 10 or 15 minutes. I know what I can talk about. I have had so many wonderful comments from all of you people. You keep me going. You keep my mind working. It gives me something to do. And with Jan's help, I can usually come up with something else for another story. Some people wouldn't call them stories, but I don't know what else you call them when I'm talking about something or somebody. It's a story. But I wanted to thank you. And one of the things I wanted to point out, I put an awful lot of messages on my YouTube, a lot. Sometimes I don't add anything, I just click the little heart to let you know I've read it, because I don't always have a comment to make to your response. But I wanted to make sure you knew I do read them all. Now and then somebody will comment on one of the old stories and I think, what's she talking about? She'll give an answer. She's just watched one and she gives an answer and I think, what in the world is she telling me? I'm going to have to go back and read my own story again so I know what she's responding to. And sometimes I find that myself reading stories I don't remember writing. Yeah, that's what old age does for you. But I'm handling it pretty good, I think. I don't mind it, as long as I'm healthy. And there's so many of you, and so many others. With physical problems, they come and they go. And we have to live with it. We have to fight it the best we can. And we have to keep going. And what you're doing for me keeps me going. I may have told you that when I wrote the two-part story about Harold, he was my sister Jeanette was the one that ran around with him when they were teenagers. And she called me and she said, I mentioned the story and she says, no, I won't read it, I won't watch it, I said, why? And she said, because I'll cry. I said, well, it's not that sad. It's not really a sad story. She says, I don't care. I can't watch it because I'll cry. Now that's how some things affect you. They may not bother you at all. Somebody else can become very emotional, and you are well aware that I'm one of those that can be emotional. I've got a lot of stories I could tell you. If it weren't for breaking down and crying, they're good stories, but still they affect your emotions. And I really want to try to keep a little humor in the things that we talk about. There's something I didn't do with that pan. I'm going to get it back out of the oven. You can just hang in there while I do it, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. I forgot about it. Get my pot holders here. And let's see how professional I can be. Goodness gracious, I don't think that's going to happen. Now this is just for the last few minutes of baking, and I'm doing this, it's not part of the recipe, but when I was in Kroger, they had this boneless chicken pieces. Here we go, get here. They had the boneless chicken pieces. And I thought, well, you know, I've got to have some meat with my roasted vegetables and my salad. And ordinarily, I'd love to have a nice big pork chop or pork tenderloin, but that's too much trouble. So I went to the deli part, and they had these little, I guess you'd call them chicken bites. They're bigger than chicken bites. Breaded, and they're chicken breast. And what I'm going to do is put them right in here. They just came out of the refrigerator. I'm going to tuck them right down in with the vegetables. This may not work, but I'll let you know if it doesn't. I kind of like this idea. This will stay in the oven long enough for the pieces of chicken to get good and hot. I'm going to leave 2 of them out. I can eat those later. So, what you saw me do was add the chicken pieces. Can you see them in there? Yeah, there they are. The chicken pieces. All right, let's see if it works. I'll get mine. I put things in a different place every time I move. Go back to the oven. This is going to go. Don't you like this little pan? I like these little handles. My oven needs cleaning. All right, that's going to stay in there a few minutes. I'm going to fix me a small salad. Let you know what it's like. Finally a fork here. I am so hungry. I didn't eat lunch today. It's almost 7:30. So I'm going to put a little bit of this salad in here. Not too much. Yeah, get some of these vegetables down in the bottom here. Yeah, there we go. Some green pepper and carrots and celery. That'll do it. Now I'm going to add a little bit of my buttermilk blue cheese dressing. I need to add some more blue cheese to it, but I'm not in the mood for that right now. I'll do that later. I'm going to tell you how this tastes. Yeah, a little more bacon. There we go. And you can watch me eat. A couple of little more bites here. I'll let you watch me eat. I've taken up my time. Too much time. But I want to make sure my vegetables are cooked all the way through. So I'm going to eat a bite or two of my salad, and then I'm going to test the vegetables again. And I'll let you know what they taste like. And you're going to want to make these. You got a big family. You get your big flat bread pan out. You can spread those vegetables all over that bread pan. Now let's see what I've got here. Let me tell you, this is good. Learn how to make good blue cheese dressing. You've got it made. Uh-oh. Had a green tongue there, didn't I? Either I'm really hungry or it's good. That is good stuff. I know there's something I ought to be telling you, but I can't think what it is. And if I can think what it is. Jan's making plans for us to go up for lunch one day in a couple of weeks. We're going to meet Jessica for lunch. And it's a place I've never been. It's LaGrange, Kentucky. Always known it was there, but didn't know I'd never been there. We picked out a little restaurant. We're going to try it out. I'm looking forward to that. My understanding is there's a train that comes right down the middle of town several times a day. Right down through the middle of Main Street. I want to be there when that train comes through. Now, a little place called Midway, just a few miles from here, has the same thing. But I don't think they have that many trains coming through. Usually, Midway will have a festival once or twice a year. Your shops will be on either side of the railroad tracks. You go back and forth across the railroad track, and they have some really good restaurants there. When Jan and Charlie got married. The whole group went to Midway to one of the restaurants, and I had filet mignon. Who's going to turn down filet mignon? It was delicious. So we do have a few places in and around. Folks, I'm sorry. This thing, I've got to figure it out. But anyhow, I'm going to get my vegetables out. You've already seen what they look like. I'm going to fix me a big plate full. Don't even need bread with this. I'm going to cover my leftover salad here. Using a little bowl cover. There's the handiest little thing. Put this in the fridge. I'm taking my hearing aid out. I'll just talk to you. So fortunately, you can't talk back to me, and that way I don't have to worry about whether or not I can hear you. I hope I haven't bored you with this video. This is why I don't like to work in the kitchen. The time it takes in trying to do a dish from start to finish so that you can get the full view of what we're dealing with, what we're cooking. I'm not good enough to do that. I'll just show you what I know. You have to kind of read between the lines. So I'm going to thank you for being with me, and then I'm going to get my vegetables, go eat, and you'll be hearing from me when I tell you how good they are. So thank you for watching, and you have a good night.